One ugly motherfucker.
Hello everyone, I'm SP and welcome back to my show I Love TCAP, where we dive into some of my favorite segments of Dateline to Catch a Predator. In today's episode, episode 6, we have a special treat for you as we're going over one of the most infamous predators on the show, Stanley Kendall. Now, let me tell you, this guy takes the prize for being one of the most fashionably challenged, having one of the most cringeworthy chat logs, and even a notorious history. But do not get me started on his facial features. I mean, the guy is the epitome of ugly. So don't forget to like, subscribe. Your support means the world to me, and it helps me keep doing the show I so love doing. Alright folks, without further ado, let's get started. Let's delve into the world of Stanley Kendall. Buckle up.
How do you spell gorgeous?
Yeah, you don't spell that with a clear conscience.
The teacher.
What have you been doing with students? Definitely not this.
Please, Marvin, get on the ground! Just lost my job.
God, I love when they cry about ruining their lives. That's always the first thing they cry about. And I cannot stress this enough. You were prepared, ready, and maybe even able to ruin someone else's life. So you're getting what you deserve.
Well, they haven't turned the mix on.
Back at the house, Perverted Justice is getting ready for the next potential predator. He's also in his 50s.
Why does that sound like a slug? You would think by this point in the show they would stop using age to try to shock people. Now, this is one of the later ones, and this is also potentially the reason the show got canceled, this segment. But by this point, they've caught young people and old people, so it's like, what's the point in talking about their age anymore? It's anyone can be a monster at this point in the show.
All right, I'm going to hang up. I'll run down and I'll meet you at the door.
Dan, an actor Dateline hired, is pretending to be a 13-year-old boy.
Okay, he should be making the turn on Westminster and onto High Point.
He's been on the phone giving directions to our next visitor.
Now, Dan here, I just learned his name, honestly, is possibly my favorite decoy. He looks the part with the whole bowl haircut. He acts the part. He sounds like he's young. I would say his biggest character flaw is probably his height. You know, even though when I was in middle school, there were some middle schoolers that looked like full-grown adults, so I don't know. Puberty's weird. Anyway, he's about to utter one of my favorite lines in TCAP history.
How you doing, Stanley? Doing good? Tough drive?
A little bit.
God, what a cardboard cutout of a human being. Like, acknowledge the boy, you know, say hello. He put a lot of work in that, how you doing, Stanley? But could you imagine a cardboard cutout of Stanley Kendall? Or like a fathead? Do they even still make fatheads? Ugh. Anyway, here's his face.
He's 54-year-old Stanley Kendall. Using the screen name Stanamac12, he initiates a chat with a decoy posing as a 13-year-old boy. Just 3 minutes later, Stanamac12 says, "I would like to play if possible." The decoy asks, "Like what?"
Now, I always like to judge the screen names. You know, they're an underrated part of the show, if you ask me. You get names like Can I Rape You Anally and Bald Beaver Hunter. But then you get names like Stanamac12. Like, what does that even mean? Like, does Stanley love mac and cheese? Or, you know, he teaches 12-year-olds, so, you know, that probably has something to do with it. Or, you know, I give this name a 1 out of 10. Minus points also for the Chrysler Plymouth.
Stanamac describes in graphic and very specific detail what he wants to do with the boy sexually. The decoy acts a bit shocked.
Oh my God, I never have done anything yet.
Would you like to?
I don't know.
I like younger guys to play with. Do you want to play or try?
Oh, okay.
That's so not an answer to that question. Would you like broccoli with your corn?
Oh, okay. I'm 13 though. That cool with you?
As long as you don't call the police.
A little later, the potential predator sends a photo of his genitals and asks the decoy,
"Do you want to play with it?"
Well, only if you're nice to me, and don't make fun of me if I don't do something right.
Of course, I can teach you by doing it to you.
Now, they try to make it seem organic with, you know, the whole text talk and, you know, the awkwardness, which I get, you know, but man, that has to suck. Like, I like to talk to people online, and sometimes it's awful. Now, imagine getting, you know, paid to do that. Imagine that being your livelihood. And then imagine getting sent a picture of Stanley Kendall's junk. Apparently, there's an unblurred picture of it out in cyberspace, and my heart goes out to anyone who has seen it. I'm very sorry for your loss. On to the interview.
Ironically, it turns out that teaching is something the man now entering our house knows a lot about.
Here, let me get you a drink. You thirsty? No? Can I pour one for myself? Mind? No? Alright.
And that's a big flaw with Dan. Before we get to the interview, I just want to bring up Dan is oddly charismatic for a 13-year-old. You know, I when I was 13, I was like fumbling my way through life. Well, I'm also 26 and still fumbling my way through life, but still, he was oddly charismatic. And there was another decoy who was the same way. She was like, "Oh, let's hop in the hot tub," and stuff like that, and that comes off as a bit of a red flag for predators. So I don't really give a crap.
So what do you think we should start with?
What are you thinking?
I don't know. It's up to you.
So what was the lesson plan for tonight?
I'm sorry.
Sorry for what?
I thought this was a joke.
You thought what was a joke?
No, I should have known better.
So which one was it? You knew it was a joke, or you should have known better? And thank goodness Chris came out before that. I don't know. What do you want to do? Well, I don't know. What do you want to do? Well, I don't know. What do you want to do? Like, I hate that.
What did you think it was?
Truly a setup.
And why would somebody try to do a setup?
To catch people that shouldn't be talking to teenagers.
People like you.
Ooh, sick burn. You know Chris usually comes in quick with them, but for some reason his entrance was a little whack this time. What's the lesson plan? Ugh.
While he claims his fantasy of teaching a young boy the sexual ropes was all a joke, what he does for a living is nothing to laugh at.
I teach math.
And what grade do you teach?
6th, 7th, and 8th grade.
6th, 7th, and 8th grade. So you teach kids who are about the same age as the boy you thought you were going to visit tonight.
Yes.
Like by now, you know, they've revealed that point 3 times. But I guess they want to like hammer that point home because it's important to know, you know. It's important because you legit never know. And that's awful. You never know how many teachers are out there because of the access to children, which the very fact that just left my mouth is horrifying. So honestly, Chris looks like he's, you know, prepared to jump over that poorly placed wet bar.
I'm about to beat this bitch up.
If you're willing to have a conversation like this and come visit a 13-year-old boy, what have you been doing with students?
Definitely not this.
And why should I believe you?
Because I've successfully taught school for 23 years.
Kendall says he has 4 children of his own, but hasn't seen them in years.
Well, that could be for a multitude of reasons. You know, one of them possibly being the fact that he molested them while they were babies. The other being the fact that they realized their dad was ugly as sin and just could not deal with that negativity in their lives. Either way, Kendall is a very disturbing character on this show, and he didn't even go to jail. Like, what the fuck?
I honestly didn't think he was 13, and I thought about driving away when I saw him at the door.
And like so many other men in his predicament, he brings up religion.
Probably I was thinking the part of me that's Christian was going to talk him out of it.
Now, I don't know Chris's religious beliefs. The turtleneck and the cheating on his wife screams Mormon. But Chris always gets upset when someone brings up religion. Like, you can even hear it in his voiceover. Well, here's literally the best part of this whole segment. Probably the best, you know, line in the whole Texas segment.
So what part of the Bible tells you to say all this kind of stuff here in the chat? I'd love to suck, play and suck, play with,
like
and
said,
lick nipples and lick and you? Where is that in the Bible? Explain that to me.
There's a human part.
Is that
of
the
me
Old
that
Testament or the
sins.
New Testament?
Neither.
Just the way he's stumbling over his words, you know, neither. You know, there's something about Stanley that really pissed Chris off. He's absolutely steaming here.
I am truly sorry. And I'm not going to be in that chat room anymore. I have learned my lesson.
Well, I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC, and we're doing a story on men who try to meet kids online for sex.
Yeah, that's right. Bring out the cameras. Now, I'm not going to show the booking and all that crap because, as I've said, he didn't even get jail time. None of the Texas people got jail time. At least I'm pretty sure none of them. I don't know. The police department was very dumb. And the worst part is I live near this place. So, yay. By the way, he lied about learning his lesson. He got like mega trolled by the TCAP community. He smeared poop on a mirror, did phone calls, and as stated earlier, he even admitted to molesting his kids. He didn't admit it on the show, he admitted it to someone in the TCAP community. So thank goodness his wife woke up one day and bounced, unlike that other dude whose wife literally chose him over their child that he actually brought to the sting. Now, I'm not going to show you any of the supplemental Stanley lore because there's a lot to dive into, and I don't want to ruin the fun for you guys, but I will show you what he looks like now. Oh, SP, don't speak ill of the dead. Oh, hush. He was a monster. He deserved what he got. Could you imagine having him as a teacher? And I'm gay. Like, noticeably gay. Ugh. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.